Hello, my name is Tracy Allen, and I want to welcome you to Cooking with Some Friends. Hello, and welcome to this episode of Cooking with Some Friends. Tonight for supper, I'm going to be preparing some stuffed bell peppers, and you can stuff peppers with a number of things. This particular recipe calls for a pound of Italian sausage that you're going to brown in about 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Then to that, we are going to add a 14.5-ounce can of fire roasted tomatoes, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, and 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. And I've already measured those out. You're also going to add a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1.5 cups of cooked rice. And when I make dishes that call for white rice, I normally make a little bit extra just so, and then refrigerate it just so that I can use it if I'm making peppers or some of my other recipes that call for some rice. Not that it's that hard to do, but it's just nice to have it on hand. Then you're also going to need 1/4 cup of chicken broth, which I've already measured out, 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, which I've also measured out, and then 3 or 4 bell peppers, and I'll talk about the peppers in a minute. And then about a cup, but that's really preference, of shredded mozzarella, or you can use grated mozzarella. Now, the peppers, I told you we'd get back to that, and I will here in just a minute and show you how I've prepared those ahead of time. Our Italian sausage is browned, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add in the tomatoes. And we're going to want to get all these particular ingredients in so we can bring this to a simmer and then let it simmer for a few minutes before we stuff our peppers. So you've added tomatoes. We're going to add our seasonings that we've already pre-measured. You're going to add your Worcestershire sauce, which it takes about a teaspoon of that. So we're going to sprinkle that in. And you're going to add your broth, your 1/4 cup of chicken broth. We're going to stir that in. And we're going to add our rice that I've already pre-measured, about 1.5 cups. And we're going to stir that together and bring it to a simmer. And then once it simmers, which it won't take it but a minute or two to simmer, you're going to let it simmer for 3 or 4 minutes just to get those flavors to all blend in together and to marry together. Now, I told you we would talk about the peppers. Peppers are really, which kind of peppers you use and how you cut them may be a personal preference. If you're looking for a sweeter, probably the most nutritious, or what people consider the best of all the bell peppers, you would choose a red pepper. It's normally sweeter and has more nutrients just because it's been on the vine longer and had that chance to grow and to ripen. Now, if you're diabetic and you're looking for a pepper that may be a little bit better for you, then I would look for a green pepper, just because it's not as ripe, which means the sugars haven't matured as much, or it hasn't gained as much sugar. If you're looking for something in between, you could go with an orange or a yellow pepper. Now, when you cut those peppers and core them, you can do that a couple of ways as well. I've done 2 different options. You can take the end of the stem out and then use a spoon to remove the seeds and the white. But I would only do that if you have peppers that are going to set nice and flat. Okay? They're a little harder to stuff as well. Or you can half your pepper, cut away the stem, and then go ahead and clean out the area that has the white and the seeds in it. So again, you can do it whichever way you prefer. If you're looking for the whole pepper, then, and presentation, I think, seems nicer when you're talking about the pepper that stands up nice and straight. Okay. So this has been simmering for a few minutes. At that point, we're going to turn our heat off. And we're going to add that 1/2 cup of Parmesan. And stir that in. Guys, really, that's all there is to the mixture that goes into stuff the peppers. Now we're ready to go ahead and stuff them. I'm going to do one of the easy ones first so I can show you, and then I'll get them ready to put in the oven. So you're going to fill each one with your mixture. Be careful not to burn yourself. Okay. And I would pack it down in there as much as you can to get them nice and full. And on top of that pepper, then you're going to add some of your mozzarella. And again, I just sprinkle it on, but you can add as much or as little as you like. And then you just continue doing the process. Now, when all of this is done, when all of them are filled, I am going to go ahead and take a piece of foil that I have sprayed lightly just so it won't stick to my peppers. And I'm going to place it over the top of my cookie sheet and just tint it lightly, so that it's covered, and it'll cook those peppers and make them tender, but that spray will help it to not stick so much to my peppers. Then I'm going to put them in the oven that I preheated at 375. I'm going to bake them for about 25 to 30 minutes. Again, it kind of depends on your oven. And then at that point, I'm going to turn it over to broil, take the foil off, and go ahead and broil them just for a minute or two so that it browns the cheese that is on top. And that's all there is to it. And they're wonderful stuffed peppers. Thanks for joining us for this session of Cooking with Some Friends. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And find us on Facebook at Cooking with Some Friends.